Good morning, class. Today the lesson we will learn is towards a longer and happier life. All of us have a very busy life. Sometimes with a busy schedule for the day, we do not get enough time to exercise. Kids, you must have enough exercise in the form of sports or playing outdoor games regularly. They say health is wealth. Today we would see how science has changed our living styles. You will see the gradual and successful changes in the fields of medicines, our food habits from the ancient time to the present time. The teacher would further explain.
Hello kids! Today we will be learning about a very interesting topic. Can anybody tell me, how does a man make a healthy living? Well, in the olden days, when a man fell sick, he would take a long time to recover. He depended on magic and religion. They would, like us, first deal with the disease using various household remedies. And if the man dies, they would say that the spirits or the ghost had killed him. But today, it is not like that. We have many instruments and medicines which can detect the disease and we can get cured as fast as possible. Can you tell me, what would you do when you get a small cut?
We will use Dettol to clean the wound.
Exactly. We know what is to be done due to the advance in science. So this shows that the world has moved on and made a great progress. Man has worked hard from the early days to find why diseases were caused. In the process, he made experiments and also invented a number of instruments. Today, we know that malaria can be checked if we restrict the breeding of mosquitoes. Smallpox can be eradicated by universal vaccine.
What does eradicate mean?
Eradicate means to put an end or remove it from the roots.
So far we know that man has made a great progress in his style of living and taking preventive measures with regards to health. Here are some instruments and medicines that have helped us in combating diseases.
Tell me, what is the instrument you use to measure your fever?
A thermometer.
So, we shall see how a thermometer works. All of us are familiar with this instrument. Whenever someone has fever, the doctor or someone in our family will put it in the mouth of the patient. This will show us how much temperature your body has. This is a small glass instrument which has mercury in a glass bulb in one end. This end is put in the mouth or under the armpit. There are scale markings on thermometer which tells us how high the body temperature is.
The mercury shines like silver.
Yes, this will move up and down the scale. The temperature of a human body is measured on two scales: Fahrenheit scale, Celsius scale. On the Fahrenheit scale, the normal temperature of the body is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit and the thermometer scale is from 95 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. On the Celsius scale, the normal temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. If any part of our body is infected, there is a rise in the body temperature. We call this fever. The doctor gives us medicines to control the body temperature. The thermometer helps him in knowing the intensity of infection. What is another instrument used by a doctor? He puts it around his neck. Most of them may answer and say, we can hear our heartbeat. Well, it is called the stethoscope. French physician René Th. Laennec invented this instrument in 1819. It is used by doctors for listening to the sounds from the heart and lungs. At one end of the instrument, there is a diaphragm. The doctor places it over the heart or lungs. A small rubber tubing connects the diaphragm to the earphones. With a stethoscope, the doctor is able to hear two heartbeats very clearly. He can also hear the sound produced by the air when the patient breathes deeply. With the help of a stethoscope, a doctor will detect whether the functioning is normal or not. He can also find out whether there is an infection in the lungs. As we have progressed in the medicinal world, man has invented another instrument called microscope. Does anybody know about it? Okay, this instrument is used in medical labs. Microscope. About 1590, two Dutch spectacle makers, Zacharias Janssen and his son Hans, while experimenting with several lenses in a tube, discovered that nearby objects appeared greatly enlarged. This was the basic model of the compound microscope and of the telescope. In 1609, Galileo, father of modern physics and astronomy, heard of these early experiments, worked out the principles of lenses, and made a much better instrument with a focusing device. Thus, the microscope was invented. Germs that we cannot see with the naked eye cause many diseases. It would be much easy to treat a patient if the doctor could be sure about the presence of any particular germs in the blood. Locating disease-bearing germs became possible with the invention of microscope. The presence of microbes, very minute germs, causing diseases can be detected by observing blood samples through a microscope. It has become easier to cure diseases once it is known that a particular germ is causing it. When somebody fractures his hand, how do they know?
We will hear a crack and it will hurt a lot.
Okay, an X-ray can detect the fracture. We shall learn more about an X-ray. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was a German physicist who on 8 November 1895 produced and detected electromagnetic radiation in a wavelength range today known as X-rays or Röntgen rays. X-ray photographs are widely used by doctors. Minute defects caused to bones as a result of some injury or accident can be accurately seen in an X-ray photograph. An X-ray of the lungs can detect if a patient is suffering tuberculosis. Today, the doctors use CAT scan machines, computer-assisted tomography, to create three-dimensional images of solid opaque bodies. Ultrasound waves are also being used by doctors for investigating diseases. The laser device is latest for performing surgical operations. It is now easy to perform a cataract removal from the eye without using any sharp knife-like instrument. There is neither any blood loss nor any stitches at the end of the operation. Today, with these latest medical equipments, a patient can recover very fast and start a normal life.
Okay kids, so far we have understood the different instruments and equipments used to diagnose any kind of a disease. The next we would learn is about surgery, which is the last option to cure a patient from a major disease.
Daniel Hale Williams was an American surgeon. He was an African-American general surgeon and performed one of the first successful pericardium surgeries in the United States.
The pericardium holds the heart in place and helps it to work properly. The sac is made of two thin layers of tissue that enclose your heart. Between the two layers is a small amount of fluid. This fluid keeps the layers from rubbing against each other and causing friction. Surgery was practiced in India even in the ancient times. Information about techniques of surgery and the instruments used in a number of books. But the modern day surgery is so different. The use of anesthesia keeps the patient free from pain while the surgeon performs the operation.
Does anybody know how many kidneys a man has?
We have 2 kidneys.
In the olden days, when one kidney failed, a person would die. But today, it is possible to transplant organs like heart or kidney. A damaged kidney can be removed and the person can live on just one kidney. In case if both the kidneys fail, a kidney may be donated by a healthy person and it can be transplanted in place of the damaged one. Eyes of a dead person can be transplanted to make a blind person see. These days, there is a lot of advertisement to donate their eyes after death.
How do we do that?
A person can declare the donation of his eyes at an eye bank in advance. After his death, the eyes are removed and transplanted to a blind person. In this way, one blind person can see. It gives him a new life. In the same way, many of our organs can be donated, which will give many people a lease to live even after we die. All you have to do is to pledge, to promise to donate your organs after you die and inform your family members of this decision.
Brain tumors can be removed by modern surgical techniques.
What is a brain tumor?
A brain tumor is an abnormal growth of cells within the brain.
All these developments in the medical field have helped in making human life longer and healthier. The next, we would learn about life-saving medicines.
Okay, can anybody tell me that if we did not have medicines, what would happen to a sick or injured man?
The patient would die. He may take a longer time to become normal.
Yes, both the cases apply. Most of us keep the basic minimum medicines at home. We also call this our first aid kit.
Yes, ma'am. We have a medical kit. In the kit, my mom keeps cotton, Dettol and some medicines.
What kind of medicines do you keep?
My mom gives me a crocin when I get fever. When I have a headache, my mom gives me aspirin.
Okay, we shall learn more about life-saving medicines. Medicines for curing diseases have been known since times immemorial. Most medicines were made from natural growing herbs.
What does immemorial mean?
Reaching beyond the limits of memory, tradition, or recorded history. Even today, many medicines are made from natural grown herbs. Neem has medicinal properties. Many of the spices that we use in our daily cooking cure many simple diseases. Scientists have been able to discover medicines that can cure serious diseases. One such is penicillin, discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1929. Penicillin can destroy certain disease-causing bacteria. Later, a number of other medicines were discovered which had the same properties. Penicillin, tetracycline, streptomycin, and gentamicin all belong to the group of antibiotics.
What are antibiotics?
A substance produced from certain fungi, bacteria, and other organisms that can destroy or restrict the growth of other microorganisms. Antibiotics are widely used in the prevention and treatment of infectious diseases. These antibiotics can be taken orally. In some cases, when the infection is very severe, an injection is necessary. Antibiotics have now gained a special place in medicine. Doctors use them for treating a large number of diseases caused by bacterial infection. What is given to a patient before an operation? They give an anesthesia.
Why that?
The patient under the effect of anesthesia does not feel the pain of the knife. But in the olden days, they used to give chloroform. This was the first ever medicine used as anesthesia, which was discovered by Sir James Simpson in 1847. The vapors of chloroform have to be inhaled. This lasted for a very short time. Today, dentists use local anesthesia which lasts for a short time, and its effect is restricted to the area under surgery only.
So far, we saw that man has many options in the present world to know his sickness as quickly as possible. We would further learn about what is preventive medicine.
Can anyone tell me what does preventive medicines mean? May get some answers. Let us understand what preventive medicines are.
But ma'am, only when we are sick, we use medicines to get well soon.
Yes, like penicillin and other antibiotic medicines are used. But scientists have invented medicines which help in preventing infection. They are called vaccines. Vaccines are taken to avoid any disease or infection attacking us, whereas an antibiotic medicine is taken after the infection is in our body. One of the most important vaccines was developed by Edward Jenner, was an English physician and scientist from Berkeley, Gloucestershire, who was the pioneer of smallpox vaccine. He is often called the father of immunology, and his work is said to have saved more lives than the work of any other man.
What does immunology mean?
Is the study of immune system of a human body. Immune system protects the body from foreign substances and fights the germs that cause infection. For example, bone marrow and lymphoid tissues. Smallpox has been a deadly disease till the last century. Even those who survived the disease had pox marks on their faces. Many of them lost their eyesight. Later, Edward Jenner observed that some farm workers suffered cowpox by milking infected cows. Such infected persons would not get smallpox again. In 1790, Edward Jenner experimented with an idea. An 8-year-old boy was inoculated with cowpox germs. He suffered a mild attack of cowpox and recovered soon. His name was James Phipps. After 2 months, the doctor inoculated James Phipps again, but this time with smallpox germs. James did not show any sign of being infected with smallpox. What do you understand by this?
That means he invented a vaccine.
That's right. The vaccine is given to prevent smallpox. We also have many other vaccines for diseases like cholera, jaundice, tuberculosis, polio and typhoid. Today, smallpox has been totally eradicated or put to an end. Has anybody seen a polio-attacked person? Today, we give drops to children, thus preventing polio attack. How many of you like milk? Most of them will give a positive answer. Milk also has germs, which turns it sour. Louis Pasteur made an important discovery in the prevention of diseases. Germs can be killed by heat. So he realized that boiling it and suddenly cooling it could kill the germs in the milk. This process is called pasteurization.
My mom boils the milk and keeps it in the fridge.
Pasteurized milk is sold in bottles and poly packs. It does not turn sour, as it has been made free from germs. The knowledge that germs cause diseases and can be destroyed was used by Joseph Lister to prevent germs from surgical instruments and dressings. Earlier, carbolic sprays were used in operation theatres to reduce the spread of germs. Today, in the modern time, a number of antiseptics are used and special care is taken to ensure that no infection takes place during or after operation. Boiling of surgical instruments also makes them germ-free. This practice is called sterilization. It reduces any chance of infection. All of us eat fruits and vegetables. They are good for our health when they are eaten fresh. But after a certain time, they start rotting, which can cause an infection. Can you tell me what are your favorite fruits? But mangoes do not rot when pickled because they use salt and spices as preservatives. It also has a lot of oil. Hence, they do not come in contact with the germs in the air. In case of jams, it is the sugar that acts as a preservative. There are number of synthetic preservatives that are now being used in packed foods. How does one keep good health?
We will get many different answers like eating healthy food, doing exercises, etc.
Good health is a matter of attitude towards one's physical, mental and spiritual well-being. If we neglect even one of these, we cannot maintain a good health. It is called the holistic approach to life. Let us understand these areas one by one. Physical health includes proper food, proper exercise, proper rest, proper hygiene. Mental health is dependent on control of emotions by being humble, respect of elders and teachers, always attentive to the work in hand, ever ready to learn, always responsible and caring. Spiritual health is strengthened by doing meditation, providing help to others, being an effective member of society, joining as a member of any service club.
We conclude with the positive thinking. All that we learned is so useful to us and brought awareness within us to take care of our health, which means health is wealth, which leads us to a longer and happier life. I hope you will be happy till we meet again. Take care.